Prime Minister Anthony Albanese had another big headache today. His plan for a voice to Parliament, this kind of Aboriginal-only Parliament in our Constitution, advisory one, looks like being beaten at the referendum this year. He was sure snappy when 2GB's Ben Fordham tackled him today. Have a listen.
No, Ben, I can't say it any clearer. Okay. Compensation it has nothing to do with what people will vote on in the last quarter of this year.
No, I'm talking about after that.
And can I make that? Well, they're not voting on any of that.
No, I was just saying there are 3 stages. So after we go through the voice, is it natural to assume that as part of treaty...
No, it's not natural
so Thomas Mayo's
to go
wrong?
through all the hypotheticals. I'm talking about what is on the agenda this year.
Michael Costa, what do you make of his reaction? Because obviously this voice is part of a package that Albanese has already endorsed that includes a treaty which will involve talk of money.
Well, there's no question about that. The Aboriginal activists that are supporting the full package have made it absolutely clear they want reparations and everything else that goes with it. But what I make of this is that they're under pressure. Their own internal polling must be showing that not only is this going to go down as an issue of importance, given the cost of living crisis, it has dropped right down to the bottom, and they're struggling to make the political equation stack up. I think he's under real pressure here, and I think the challenge for him now is to actually start explaining this. They still are refusing to explain what the details are, and it's the very fact that they can't explain it that leaves them open to these sorts of arguments, and these arguments do have some merit in them. They need to be challenged or accepted as a factual statement of what's going to happen.
Yeah, David, what was interesting about that interview, and you've managed this sort of thinking before in your professional life. Albanese doesn't actually subject himself to many hostile one-on-one interviews. He's usually friendly on The Voice. Here he came under huge pressure, didn't perform well. That brings me to the fact of a debate. The opposition's Indigenous Australian spokesman, Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price, has also challenged the Minister, Labor's Linda Burney, to a debate on this voice. And Burney this afternoon said, no, can't have that. This is actually about Australians, it's not about politicians. That doesn't sound right since politicians are pushing this. Do you think she's just scared that Price is going to make her look stupid?
I agree with Michael. At the heart of this is an absence of information about what this whole proposal is going to do. When it suits them, it's all about just recognition, but of course it's bigger than that. It's the voice. And in that interview with Ben Fordham, the Prime Minister made it clear he thought there were red herrings going everywhere. You're raising red herrings, but he never addresses the centrality of the concern. So it leaves a gaping gap in the knowledge base of all Australians who are going to have to vote for this. And when, you'd normally expect in a convoluted and a difficult and sophisticated debate like this, the Minister would take the opportunity to debate her shadow, but she's not going to. And I mean, the whole idea about it's being voters, it's all about the voters, not about politicians. She's the one with carriage to bring it in. So it is up to her to enunciate a case for the yes.
But it's worse than that, Andrew, because she was at the press club trying to define the parameters of this. She was quite happy to go out and try and hose the criticism down at the press club, but she's not prepared to debate the shadow minister. They're in real trouble on this, real trouble. And, the more they squirm and the more they hide, the more suspicious the public will be. You've got to say this is going to go down like a lead balloon at the moment.
I think it's so funny. This is not about politicians, says the woman whose idea this was, whose law this is, legislation this is, who created the committees that will advise her, that's been arguing it for ages, that talked about in the introduction of the bill. Suddenly, when there's a debate on with Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price, oh no, she's going to crawl back into a little hole and hide. Really, really. Michael Costa, David Gazzard, thank you both so much for your time.
Thanks, Andrew.